Hey you guys, what's going on? I'm Michael. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. We did something new this week on the channel and I really like the way it worked out. You guys picked the topic and the topic is when your overland rig is also your daily driver. What are some of the considerations? Well, last week I was hanging out with Dave and he said, 90% of the time it's my daily driver. So we're gonna see his Tacoma build and we're gonna talk about some of the things that he does to make it easy to switch back and forth. So I really hope you liked the video. I wanna give a thank you to Kelly who helped me out. She held the camera for like 45 minutes or something like that. So thanks a lot for doing that. And you guys, if you guys want tips, tricks, we wanna help you get out and explore. You can join me over on the Overland Bound website. Our worldwide community would be glad to help you out. But for now, let's see this Tacoma build. We're gonna see like 8 seconds of it in its daily driver configuration. Then we'll jump into the overland configuration, talk to Dave, and we'll see what he does to make it easy to go back and forth. All right, you guys, hey, thanks again for hanging out. Enjoy the video. Until next time, outfit and explore. I'll see you on the trail. Okay, so this truck is rad. This is awesome. Dave, I'm here with Dave. We're gonna do a walk around to this Tacoma. You're gonna see some stuff. You mentioned last weekend, you said, this is my daily driver and I have to switch back and forth between daily driver and overland rig. Tell us a little bit about that scenario. Like, what do you do? Tell us something about you before we start talking about hardware.
I don't play the lottery enough, so I only have one vehicle. but basically, I do a lot of medical device sales. So I'm driving all over, about 3,500 miles a month.
Wow.
And I have a lot of gear that's in my vehicle. Mm-hmm. And about a year ago, July of 2017, I borrowed my good friend Greg's Tacoma.
Yeah.
And I drove up to the mountains to see my daughter at HiLites Christian camps. And then what ended up happening was I was like, hey, this thing isn't too bad. And at that point, I had a very capable Honda Accord. It was capable of getting excellent gas mileage, but I could never get into a car wash without getting caught on the lip and the wheels that spin, and it's all about momentum, right?
Right.
And so
fast as necessary, as slow as possible.
I researched for about 6 months and decided I wanted to land on a Tacoma. And in that process, I actually found Overland Bound.
Cool.
And
right on.
said, hey, this looks like something that would be a lot of fun and bring a little bit more adventure to my life.
Cool. Tell us the basics. Your make and model of this rig and anything, any reason why you decided on the Tacoma.
So what I like about Tacoma is that there are so many different vendors out there that make accessories for this. Everything from major companies to people that do it as like a side hustle on tacomaworld.com, which is an excellent resource for these vehicles. And actually any vehicle usually has a forum out there that supports it in some level. And this is a 2018 off-road edition, so it has the rear locker, has the crawl control, which I've only used once, stuck in the snow. Yeah. But it already has about 27,000 miles, and I got it in February. Wow. It's been to Canada, it's been on Mojave Road, it's been to Bald Mountain a couple times, and it's about to go to Death Valley.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah. You got almost 30,000 miles on this thing. Yeah. All right. So before we walk around this thing, is there anything that you did under the hood, or is it bone stock right now?
The only thing I did, which is there's a lot of YouTube videos out there,
yep.
And I added a circuit breaker and a little aux panel just to keep it clean.
Yep.
The circuit breaker is really nice because you can turn off the whole aux panel and work on it without finding 12 volts running through your system.
Yeah.
And so everything else is stock.
Hey, Dave, you have this weird, like, flat black patch on your hood. What's that for?
So this is because Priuses continue to drive in the fast lane. And I always come up behind him, and I'm like, can you save the earth in the slow lane? You know? Actually, this is a decal made by a guy who does signs on Tacoma World as a kind of like a side hustle again. And I just liked it, and it totally reduces the glare on the road. And even when you're, you know, going up an obstacle or something, and all you see is hood, it's really nice to not have sun.
Cool. Right on. Hey, why don't we walk around your rig
and
take a look? Okay. This is, you can point out one of the first daily driver versus overland rig setups, right?
So one of the things I've always admired about these overland rigs is they have all these great communication and navigation. But I didn't want that all the time. And so I got
You look like what? Like mission control,
basically,
right? All the time, 100% of the time, right?
Like you're going to the moon without ever going to the moon. So what happened is I got it's from the tacogarage.com, and it is a dash-top multi-mount. And what it does is it's really slim. It hides behind this radio bezel 99% of the time. And then I just add 2 ram ball mounts to it when I'm going somewhere, and then I've got clear view of everything that I need.
Hey, what communication do you use as your primary mode of communication?
So I debated that a lot. Mojave Road, my friend Greg and I, we used the basic walkie-talkies, and then we went through like 12 batteries. And then, so I just went to the top and got the ham radio.
Good, that's one way to go. Ham is the best. You guys, we're on a mission. Go and get your ham license. It doesn't take long. Ham, cram, and use ham. It's the only way to go. It's reliable, long range. You'll never go back. All right. So now, what'd you do for suspension on the back for your weight?
So Tacomas are known to be a little bit light on their springs and the stock springs. And obviously I've added a few things. And so I just got the Ride Right Firestone airbags. But what's unique about them is they have the cradles in the bottom. They're called Daystar cradles, so that the airbag is not actually attached on both sides, just the top. So if you articulate on the trail, you can actually get more articulation without damaging your airbags. This is one of my favorite additions. This is made by KB Voodoo.
Cool.
And they are big in Tacoma World, but also for Tundras. And this rack actually will fit any truck. And it's called the Max, actually. And it holds something stupid, like 700 pounds, but it only weighs 55 pounds because it's all aluminum, so it won't rust, and it's very modular. You can throw bike mounts on it, rotor packs. I have a high lift jack on the inside, and what it does is it helps me maximize the space. And then he even added recently, Chad, who designs, he added a cargo tray, and this has been a really nice space saver.
This is epic. If you guys wonder why if you guys see me doing this and you're wondering why, it's because I'm hiding the microphone because it's super windy and I don't want you guys.
So this is the keeper pins that keep it in, and then it comes out and I can get access to all of this gear.
Oh, that is awesome.
And Chad was nice, threw in a cargo net for me, and this is only lightly packed for this example today. But it'll hold about 200 pounds up there.
Hey, what do you have in this bag up here?
So this is a yacht.
Okay, it's a tent.
You don't know?
Sticking with our theme, when you go into daily driver mode, how difficult is it to remove this gear?
Yeah, so what I do is, once I get the gear out of the tray, and obviously the bike's off and the rotor pack's off because it's weight I don't want to lift, I leave the tent on. It takes me maybe like 5 minutes to hoist it off of the back. I built in my backyard a 4-point hoist using simple tie downs. And the hooks grab each corner, and there's only 4 bolts that take off this rack from these tonneau bracket covers. The brackets that go around the tonneau cover. And those 4 bolts out, the rack goes up in the air, and I actually drive my truck away. It's a game changer for me to be able to convert the truck into usable form for 99% of its driving. And
it looks like that's about 80% of the Overland kit, right? Is kind of consolidated on the back.
Yeah, what I try to do is both on the inside and the outside is like a truck chucked box, right? That you just grab and all your stuff's there. And that was my goal, to make it easy.
Cool. If you guys, he just said grab and go, so I'm going to underscore that a little bit. If you guys, pack 3 cases is something that we advocate, coordinating your stuff in maybe just 3 cases, and you grab those cases, put them in the back, and you're ready to go. If you're ready to go within 20 minutes, you guys will go more often. And so, so you'll leave on a Friday and be out in the mountains and be glad you did.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Hey, what about behind the tailgate? Is there anything in there we should take a look at? Or?
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, yes, there is.
Behind door number 1.
All right.
So I have a couple of things back here. Obviously, I just have a cooler right now. No fancy fridge or anything.
Oh, you can't overland without a fridge. Sorry, I'm out.
I don't have an Instagram channel. Am I out too? So they say that, necessity
Yes.
is the mother of invention.
Yep.
And this drawer that I built, I actually made this myself. This was frustration. I went to Bald Mountain. I organized a little trip to go up there.
Yep.
And I was unloading bin after bin into the dirt. My kids are bonding with other Overland bound members around the fire.
Yep.
And I'm like, moving bins in and out and all this stuff. And I said, I need a better solution. And I'm not a super handy guy. And I had to borrow a lot of the tools. I actually had the lumber company cut all the boards for me.
Wow. Okay.
And I designed all my blueprints on a piece of binder paper.
Awesome.
And gave them the cut list.
Wait.
And they gave me back perfect dimensions.
You mean like actual like pencil and pen and actual paper?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, and I had to use a fancy math when it came to, this is a 56-inch drawer system that is built on
Holy cow.
big, long drawers, sliders. They're 500-pound sliders. And so what I did was, this is a cubby box back here.
Yep.
And then I used coffee table lifts.
Hey, here's what we're going to do right now, because if I leave the camera where it's at right now, y'all are going to be mad. I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to put it over. So let's take a look. What you got?
So I got a couple, I use these coffee table lifts.
Yep.
A lot of people use piano hinges, but I like that it kept the workspace or usable flat space really close.
This is really cool, actually.
Yeah, I don't have to reach across for it.
Yeah, and when you're out in the middle of no place, flat space is a premium.
Very much
and
so.
it's really nice to have this here. That's great.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
inside of here, I've got my propane tanks. I actually have a lantern here.
Yep.
Anytime you go hardcore overlanding, you have to have. So like you said, flat space is a premium. And so
Yep.
what I did was I made a cutting board for the top here to actually be the cutting board.
Oh,
right,
that is awesome.
when you're doing the work, so it's hypoallergenic more so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I added here, this is the Coleman cook stove, and I just got a basic one because I didn't want anything to break.
Wow,
And then
this
it
is
sets up.
This is amazing. So there's a lot of great kit out there. Standard old Coleman. This thing will last you 100 years.
It's $34 when I got it.
That is awesome. You've got all your kit. Your kitchen is basically a 5-second deploy.
It is, and
If you're racing.
Often when we're camping, we'll start packing up like half an hour after someone else.
Yeah.
And then we finish before them easily.
Wow.
And there's a whole debate about overlanding, off-roading, camping, and to me, off-roading is where you're looking for obstacles, right?
Yeah.
100% of the time. And camping is like when you go to a lake and you sit somewhere for like 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
To me, overlanding is about a combination of all three of those things, but you're putting 50 miles in between each campsite.
Yep.
And so you don't want to, my goal is the only thing that touches the ground are my 4 wheels, 2 chairs, and a roll-out coffee table.
And I will say there's no rules, right? There's no rules in overlanding, but what I will say is that you're going to be a lot happier if you keep your entire setup time and pack it in time at 15 minutes or less.
It'll help you love your children more too.
Yeah.
Because they're useless half the time,
Fact. All right, that is awesome. So when you are going from daily driver to overland rig, this particular piece of kit in the back of the truck bed, what do? Do you just Hercules it out, or do you keep this in during the week?
That's a great question. So, like I said, it's like a big chuck box.
Yeah.
So it goes back in, and I use 2 tie downs to just hold it, one on the front, one on the rear, to hold it to the bed of the truck.
Yep.
I put little wheels in the back, and so I have these black handles on each side. And then what I do is I lift it forward to the edge, and then I have my hoist, and the hooks come down, grab it, and then I can swing it out and lower it to the ground without breaking my back.
Got it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. The hoist, is it pulley system? Do you have ratcheting? Do you have a come along, or is it just a pulley system with ropes, or is it just simpler than that?
It's a basic pulley system. I actually have this here. It just utilizes this style. I actually don't know what you call this one, but just a clip, and then I'll pull
that
each corner.
that style of bracket. That the proper name for that is little guy. All right, so what else should we know about the whole kit here?
Well, I learned early that when you go camping, it's really dark at night.
Yeah.
So
when did you learn that? Were you 30? 32?
Somewhere around. I've been most of my life I was a hoteler, so it is a little newer.
Yeah.
So, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so what I did was added tonneau lights that come underneath and a little pin switch so that when I open the tailgate, the lights go on automatically, which is really useful at night.
That is cool. We'll B-roll. We'll show that.
And then I also added a power panel on the back that gives me an option. If I ever do a fridge, it has dual USB, and it has 3 switches. 2 will be for lights that I haven't hooked up yet.
Yep.
And then the third one is for a compressor. Cool. Because I didn't want to open my hood where it's hot, and I didn't need a button inside because I'm out here
Yeah.
needing my compressor.
Yeah.
So I might as well just switch it on while I'm back here.
And I think that's one of the first things you guys will upgrade is you'll have some kind of a panel where you need it, which is towards the back.
It's very useful.
Yeah.
Very useful. Single ARB, and I use the Expedition Essentials side mount that replaces the virtually useless cubby that's in the back of these trucks.
Let's go over here. Hey, you're going to show me something about, you mentioned your camera, but before we get there, tell me about you mountain bike as well.
Yeah, mountain bike. My son and I actually went to Whistler Bike Park. Actually, I have the shirt on. And what was great was we did this big week-long trip and paid $25 for camping one night by Astoria, Oregon, because I couldn't find free camping. It was great. And we camped the whole way, and gravity was finally on my side going downhill. But these mounts have been awesome. And they're built by KB Voodoo for these racks specifically, and they're solid. They work great.
Hey, and I'm going to take this opportunity. Overlanding allows you to go farther and do more no matter what you like to do. Hunting, fishing, mountain biking, snowboarding, you name it. You can go farther, do more.
Yeah.
Outfit your rig. You guys, I moved the camera because it stopped recording, so we're going to pick it up here. So you already mentioned you got the kick out here.
Yeah, I got the kick out. That gives you a little extra clearance if you're going around a rock or a stump or something to kick your back tire out in a way. It actually still works as a footstool too, or footstep if I want to get up.
Right on. Cool. Yeah, if you guys are going to get a slider, which that's one of the first we recommend, that's one of your first upgrades is getting a slider. Really consider getting a kicker on the back because, like Dave was saying, it will push you back and save the rear end of your car.
Because as soon as you hit a rock and you can't get your door open, you're going to be like, I should have spent the money on the slider.
I should have spent the... All right, what do we got in here?
So one of the simple modifications I did that actually wasn't that expensive, again, found through TacomaWorld.com is a anytime backup camera and front camera. And it actually has application both off-road and on-road. So off-road, sometimes you get nose up and you come over a little crest, you have no idea if there's a lake on the other side or, a bottomless pit, or it's just a trail going straight left or right. And so I can turn on the camera to be able to see right in my navigation screen what's ahead of me.
Hey, your wheels. We didn't talk about your wheels. What kind of wheels do you have there? Other than fancy.
The wheels are Stealth Custom Series.
Cool.
And I like them because they look awesome, and also they give a little bit of offset, so I can get a little bit larger size tire than stock. Cool. And they're Bay Area local.
Right on.
East Bay.
Right on. Shop locally if you can, within 200 miles of where you live. Right on. Dave, thanks. We're here on a Saturday. Thank you for coming out here and hanging out with us and sharing your story. Is there anything you want to add in terms of like daily driver, overland rig, anything that comes to mind that you've learned or in your real world situation, like anything?
I did a lot of research. I spent about 6 months, and my kids got tired of hearing me talk about truck, or if I was going to do like a 4Runner or an FJ or something like that, a dedicated rig. And so if you're out for a new car, you can definitely integrate the two of them together and have a successful vehicle to allow you to get past the first gatekeeper that keeps out 90% of the population from seeing great views and stuff that you just don't see rolling down I-80.
How can people follow you, man? How do people follow you?
Best way is give me like 3 seconds distance and 580, 205, 99. That's what you follow me at.
Follow you on 580 or 99.
Yeah.
Right on. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it.
Bye.
Cool. How difficult is it to remove this when you go into daily driver mode?
Not at all. Very difficult. Can I read you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll cut everything together and make us sound smart. This is a tent, right?
Yeah, this is a tent.
Okay, good. Woo!
They say that mother is a necessity of all invention.
Yep.
Frustration was the
mother isn't the necessity.
No,
necessity is the necessity is the mother of invention.
What did I say?
You said that
mother was the necessity.
Really? Now I'm confused.
Let's start over then.
Okay.